Good day, people, and welcome to this map of Overgrowth, Ladder Edition, between clanmates. And the game here is between Sundsvall's finest, the diamond level player, Granis, and his opponent in the top right-hand side, the platinum player, I believe, the platinum Protoss, who's not playing in pink, which would have made things an awful lot nicer if he was the pink platinum Protoss. It's Mancilla. Boom. So, these guys are clanmates. There's not a best of three, but that's fine. These guys are clanmates, so we kind of expect there to be some kind of knowledge of what they're going to be doing before it actually starts. They know each other's playstyle, so we kind of expect some kind of weird shenanigans. I'm really tempted to try and find some way to make my cursor invisible, because that'd be kind of cool if I could do that. But we'll see. Now, a fairly standard opener, the Terran player getting sight of his ramp, because it turns out being able to see where the probes are coming in is a really useful thing for a Terran player. I feel like there's actually a little delayed, actually. Granis supply blocking himself there. Oh well, if you're going hatch first, or CC first, then it's not going to be too much of a problem. Wait, maybe 100 times better might be a way to make too much, at least one time better. So it's good. Well, let's assume that he plays a little more smoothly. Granis versus Mancilla should be an interesting matchup because, again, like we said, we're looking at Reaper, which is a fairly standard opener versus Protoss, and therefore Mancilla's going for the Reaper wall in. This is a really useful thing to do because it turns out that if you can stop the Reapers getting around the back, then they have to more or less go through your mineral line in order to harass, which makes them a lot easier to zone out and also to murder in the face. I have to admit, I'd have put that there just to wall it in just that little bit extra, but Mancilla must know what he's doing. Not put anything on that gas yet. Getting a second gas. Ooh, unexpected. Unexpected indeed. I imagine he's probably going to be getting the gas up soon, because otherwise there's no point having it. Oh, wow, a real Reaper wall. This is how a man walls in. I guess. I don't know. It might not be the truth. In any case, the Reaper on its way. Slightly delayed orbital, but that's fine. Again, we're talking about... Well, we're talking about Diamond Plat, so it should be fairly good. So, apparently Granis' TVP is slightly better than his TVZ. That's because Zerg is one of those matchups, unless you know exactly what you're doing, it's really difficult to stop the Zerg macroing up and then just crushing you with a million things. But in this case, we're up against a Protoss player who tends to get a bunch of solid core of units and then crush you with that instead. It's one of the things I think they're planning on changing in Legacy of the Void when they eventually bring it out, is the Death Ball Syndrome, which is basically in terms of Protoss, get Colossus, get Storm, get some tanking units and A-move and win, with possible T-moving for, you know, stuff. Checking out some proxy locations, I suspect. Well, strictly speaking, for some reason, this is a really good area for proxies. Not sure why. Stalker is, however, out already, and therefore Mancilla is probably not going to lose any drones to this Reaper. He might actually lose the Reaper going through this mineral line. And he does. If he'd gone the other way... Actually, no, he couldn't go the other way because that's completely walled in. So, yeah, that was basically the AI going, gotta go that way. I don't know why, I just gotta do it. Mothership Core's on the way now, and so is Warp Gate. So, at this point, our Protoss player has to commit to a build, and the builder is getting himself an extra base up. Reaper Hellion Hellbat, says Duskine, who for TBZ. That's a good strat. Does suffer somewhat to Banelings, but that's what the Hellions are for, I imagine. More barracks coming down because it turns out that's a pretty good unit. I have to admit I would like to see tech labs on both of those and not that one yet because the expansion's on its way, so maybe. I would prefer to see a factory though, and there is enough resources in a second for a factory. That would be really good. Mines, super good against Protoss, especially at this point in the game. Especially if you can hide them with turrets. But... Stalker Mothership Core pressure coming out, and this is actually one of the things that's really super freaking annoying when Terrans have to suffer this. Granis is going to take potentially a bunch of damage from the fact that the Stalker and the Mothership do quite a lot of damage and take quite a lot of killing. The Mothership Core is actually the weak link in this. And if it can be forced to use a recall to get out of there, then yeah, that's brilliant. But actually it's surprisingly difficult to get around because the Stalker can just go in, start shooting up this base, and the Marines have to come down. No, Mancilla, don't go up the ramp. Oh, no! Yeah, if he'd done that from the bottom, he could have shot up so many Marines, but no, it looks like he might actually end up losing so much from this attack. The Marines trying to micro forwards, and this is why the Mothership Core has to be protected. That's basically, I'm going home. That's an announcement by Mancilla that he's leaving. The thing is, he's actually gotten to see his opponent's natural. He knows roughly what he has. He has Marines. He has a ton of Marines. He doesn't have anything else. And he definitely doesn't have Stim yet. Flarnot in the chat saying the military core makes them untouchable. It makes it difficult and you have to be careful with it, but it is still possible to attack into the mothership core, because you force the photon overcharge here, run up the ramp, and you can kill for a bunch of stuff if you've got the right composition. But incoming now, Twiglet cancel. This means one of two things. It either means blink or it means DTs. I'm inclined towards blink because DTs don't need upgrades. In fact, it really doesn't benefit them that much to get upgrades unless they're going up against super tanky units. But if they attack a marine, they do 45 damage a swipe, I think, anyway. Or they do 50 damage a swipe. Which basically means that for a little while, unless the marines have combat shields, which they don't. I have it in my head, I've seen pushes involving a bunch of marines that hit before photon overcharge is ready. And then, of course, it's like if you just go with a bunch of marines and if there's no sentry, you can walk straight up into the main, and then they've got nothing because they've been focusing on other things. It depends on what you scout, basically. It involves go Reaper, but again, it would depend on the matchup. But I know I've seen it happen. I know I've seen it done. And I'm damned if I can remember what it was. Anyway, we're seeing a marine push here. Photon overcharge is not quite ready, so this could do a bunch of damage. We'll have to see what happens. Stim is also not ready. The thing is, it's actually not bad for our Protoss player, not for our Terran player. He's pushing his opponent's forces down and basically keeping him home. He's actually getting cost efficiency out of this attack. And yes, he's gonna be able to take photon overcharge to the face, but there's actually no army for Protoss now, so Protoss can't harass. He just can't. He's getting some stalkers up, but this is not enough to attack with. The big thing here is that Mancilla has this base over here. Oh, a bit too close there. But yeah, 3 stalkers is not enough to kill this off. Hull damage. And that right there is one of the ways that you do it. We're just seeing a bit of aggression, forcing a photon overcharge, bearing in mind that there's no way there's going to be another photon overcharge when this finishes. And since combat shields, and since +1 is done and concussive shell is done, this is not a bad push. The Immortal's going to be good against the Marauders, but the Marines are going to eat them. So it depends. I mean, photon overcharge is down. If Mancilla gets attacked now, Granis could actually do quite a lot of damage to him. Again, this base here is really important. And it's a shame Mancilla's not using it because he could get a ton more Zealots out. That said, Granis floating a lot of minerals right now. It would be good to see him get some more gas in, get another base or two. But he likes being aggressive, apparently. That's fair. Oh! The unit's in the attack. There's an attack going on. And actually, I think Granis could possibly take this if he went for it. But no, he's going to retreat. Hey, Night Warrior, you might well actually be right. I might be wrong, but I have it in my head that I've seen attacks done on this sort of scale that hit before photon overcharge is ready. And I'm fairly certain that the player that did it is either Diamond or Plat. In fact, I think Cloudetics does it, so ask him about it when if he ever turns up. But yeah, double bunker coming up for Granis, and he's done some pressure. He's forced some things, which actually means he's ahead in terms of economy because his worker count's higher. In effective terms, his actual workers are equal, but the fact that he has 2 base worth of mules means that he's effectively up by 8 workers. Flarnot saying he doesn't like TOS based on the way that they are, based on the fact that they're turtly. Again, that's one of those things where it's going to be tricky to crack that nut because the photon overcharge is so good. But I have seen builds again, the pressure that hit early enough that photon overcharge isn't an issue. Oh well. Let's see. I might actually try and get hold of a replay that does that. Alright, Night Warrior. Did I cast your games while you were away? Not sure. Oh wait, no, I haven't done these ones. Oh well, we'll do those next. Don't think so. Not yet. Right, so the Protoss player is getting himself a decent-sized army. The fact that he still has this unscouted gold base is really good for Mancilla. I really like that. He's got that. He's got the macro advantage now because he's effectively on 3 and a bit base. This actually makes up for the a little bit for the deficit in mules, basically. Although weirdly enough, Granis almost could see it. I think he can't see that gas. No, he just can't see the gas. Oh my god. Okay, so. Fighting Frog's in the chat. Good to see you, Fighting Frog. So, Mr. Bond, what are you doing now? And at this point, I'm actually kind of expecting... Oh, there is a drop. There's an attack going in. Oh, that happened. Weirdly enough, this is +2. Night Warrior's trying to drop the knowledge on us. Hey, feel free. I'm more than willing to accept. I'm more than willing to accept that there are people out in the audience who probably know more about Protoss than I do. But we're seeing a third base coming down from Granis, who probably doesn't realise that actually he's quite behind in terms of economy. Yeah, he has no idea. And he's a little bit supply blocked. When I say a little bit, I mean he's going to be supply blocked for a little while. But that's okay. It's only going to kill him a little bit. The thing is, there's Templar being made instead of Colossus here, which actually is non-standard. You would normally expect Colossus to be built at this point, and actually this would be why Granis is blind building Vikings. And that's actually going to come back to bite him in the ass later.
Upgrade complete.
Hey, Night Warrior, I am more than willing to accept I don't understand TOS. That's why I'm grinding a lot of stuff. So I can try and learn. If you can explain why I'm wrong, I'm more than willing to accept it. So, getting out there, getting on up. And the Terran's pushing. I'm not certain why, but I'm not sure what sort of sponsored his movement out. But he's actually got a fairly sizable army. And now he sees the gold base. Now he knows why he's upset. Oh, and the mines. The mines are in a good position. Thinks he doesn't... Oh, the base is dead. Yep, that base is definitely dead. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Zealot's dead. The army's pulling back. The problem is, it's not this lot that you should be worried about. It's that lot up there. It's the Templar that are about to storm the shit out of you. Sitting in storm, bad idea. Oh, no. But again, actually, he's doing okay. The Templar are pushing themselves to the front, which is not good for their health. Now, the 50 damage a shot from these Immortals should put paid to these... yeah. Literally, the only thing he hasn't killed off is the mines, really. And the mines aren't going to do shit there. That said, I wouldn't push with this. I would not push with this at all. There is enough medevac power to heal this up. I would really not push with this. Ooh, Mancilla pullback. Play TOS 1 month. I've played TOS a bit. I don't honestly think that playing TOS 1 month will actually teach me how they work well enough to be able to do that. The thing I'm wondering about Protoss is if the thing is, like, Protoss feels like the army that if you see what they're doing, then you can hard counter them so hard. But if you don't, and okay, so microing against that can be intensive, but oh my god, incoming pain train, catching these workers out is going to be super painful, and does also reveal the existence of the third base. But if he can get these bunkers, he can chase that army away. I think at this stage Granis is doing okay-ish if he repairs these bunkers. One of the bunkers is burning though. One of the bunkers is on fire. The planetary fortress needs to be repaired. Repair! Repair! If he can repair the planetary, if he can overcome this damage, the longer it takes, the more damage he can do, and that's how you push back an attack. You can just about repair long enough. Boom. The problem is, there's a lot of Protoss army here. I think the fact that the army supplies are that far imbalanced, though, I think means that Terran's doing okay. He's also seen this pylon and hasn't killed it. That's a spotting thing. Interestingly enough, the +3 weapons is already finished for our Protoss buddy. And this gas geyser is being mined long distance. I don't know, Kev. I don't know. I think part of the problem was that we did actually sacrifice... Mancilla did sacrifice all of his Templar to try and get... Yeah. Fighting Frog asking, why is this discussed all the time? Because a lot of people don't want to admit that they lost. They want to say that their race lost. That said, I mean, it depends. If it is actually impossible for one race to win, then that's not fair. But, the pylon going down. And the army blinking away so it doesn't get caught. Ghosts finally being made. The problem with Ghosts is that they're really, really powerful, but they're so micro-intensive. Like, I don't even. And now, Mancilla's actually going to go for an attack. It's actually not necessarily the worst idea in the world, actually. Because if he can get in... The problem is he can't get out very easily. And the EMP is real. That was a nice little saver from there. It wasn't the best because, you know, EMP still went off, but... And this is how one of the ways you screw over Terran. You kill his production. But he's going to lose all the Stalkers for this, and I don't think Mancilla wanted to do that. That's a lot of loss. I don't think that was worth. Terran player can just A-move and win now. Literally A-move and win. There are no Templar on the other side to provide Storm. There's 5 Stalkers, 7 Stalkers, 7 Stalkers versus all this? I think not. I have a feeling that this is going to be a bit of a brutal end to Mancilla in a few moments' time. Yeah. So, mines being selected, but not doing anything yet. The thing is, there's enough mines here to wipe this force out several times. This Protoss force out several times, and there still is at least to wipe it out once now. I don't know, Kev. I don't know. The thing is, if the mines actually go somewhere useful, they could basically kill off Protoss right now. Okay, so Terran moves in. The mines are in position. This third base is going to die. Cancelled immediately. But Protoss not actually going to go and engage. He's actually going to attack. Which I don't know if I like all that much. I mean, a couple of mines in the right place means that could spell disaster. A couple of mines, all these Marines in the right place, also spelling disaster as well. The Marines just so cost effective when they stim. So nice, so nice. The thing is, the army didn't even need to come back for this, I don't think. And now the end is near, because Mancilla's got no frickin' units. The thing is, all of these guys take up these seven zealots make up well, a decent portion of his supply. Yeah, he has now 31 army supply. Well played, but it's not really going to survive long against the 110 army supply of his opponent. And Duska and Hoof saying, basically, that's the Tosses can make a composition that's answered whatever Terran can do. Also the same. Yeah, the Terran's moving in now. I think Granis has got this one. He doesn't even need to engage with his entire army. He can send the rest of it down to kill off this third, and Mancilla does not GG. Tisk tisk. Good games. Thank you for sending that one in, Granis. And we'll be doing some Night Warrior games in the near future. So thanks very much. We'll see you.